What's up, slashes and slashettes? My name's Nightfall, and welcome back to another video game discussion. Once again, we are talking about DBD, but that's because I can actually play it again, so I've been playing it a lot. More specifically, though, I will be ranking every killer from least to most fun to play. Fair warning, this is my personal opinion based on my personal experiences. Feel free to comment your own list down below. With that out of the way, let's get to the video. Starting off at number 31, we have the Nightmare, aka Freddy Krueger. This probably doesn't come as a surprise to people, as he's generally considered one of the least fun killers to play as in the community. His ability to teleport directly to gens is really the only good thing he has going for him, but he's quite lacking in every other way. His snares are pretty much useless, and if you go up against good survivors, then the dream world isn't much of a threat to them. Moving on, we have the Cenobite. As I mentioned in my Skull Merchant video, Cenobite was the most disappointing chapter for me personally, even if it wasn't warranted. On top of that, I will admit I'm not skilled enough to play him as effectively as others. The turning on the chains is hard for me, and keeping chain hunts going is also pretty difficult. I'm sure if I could effectively use his power, he would be higher on the list, but all in all, I just don't really enjoy the Cenobite altogether. Up next we have the Pig. Now this was hard to choose between the Pig and my next two entries, but I put the Pig here because I do enjoy her gameplay less. Using her traps would be fun if they were actually a threat, but usually survivors get them off pretty quickly, but you will sometimes get them to be effective. On top of the traps being mostly useless, her ambush feature is almost entirely useless. It helps to sneak around as you are undetectable, but against skilled survivors you will almost never land a hit on one, and even if you do, oftentimes M1ing would have the same result. At 28, we have the Huntress. Again, this is mainly due to a skill issue, which is a common theme for this list apparently. But I hardly land hatchet throws. I've watched different tips, tricks, and videos to get advice on how to play her better, and I just can't play her effectively enough to enjoy it. That being said, I do get a couple of hits now and then, and it's very satisfying, so I'm putting her higher than the previous entries. Coming in at 27 is the Hillbilly. Like I said, I was debating putting Pig or Huntress higher than Billy, as I honestly completely suck with his chainsaw. I get a couple of hits and the mobility is useful, but I just don't have the skill to play Billy well. That being said, he does go zoom, and that is always a way into my heart, so I placed him higher than Pig and Huntress. At 26, we have the Clown. This time, it's not actually a skill issue, as I do pretty well with Clown, but I hardly ever use his yellow bottles, so half of his ability is useless to me, and the other half is only really useful in chases where M1ing would, much like the Pig, result in the same ending. For number 25, we have the Shape. He has a lot of fun builds, and scaring survivors is always fun, but his power doesn't really suit my playstyle, as he's the Regigigas of DBD. He has way too slow of a start, and survivors are usually very good about countering and dealing with Myers. Next, we have the Trapper, arguably the weakest killer in the game. That being said, when survivors step into traps, it's very satisfying, and holding down a 3-gen or completely locking down an area of the map as Trapper is actually really fun, as it makes me feel like a final boss in a dungeon that the survivors have to navigate. Number 23 starts the part of this list where it's incredibly hard for me to decide the placement of them. I really enjoy playing all of the rest of the killers, so I'm not saying these are unfun, I'm just saying I have a little more fun with the rest. So for number 23, we have the Mastermind. Wesker's lunges are fun and throwing the survivor is hilarious, but his power just doesn't work for me personally. I feel like even if he had one more lunge in his base power, he'd be a lot more fun. I know add-ons give him more lunges, but I feel like you shouldn't have to use an add-on to have fun with a killer, but rather improve on that fun. And I feel like his power as is just isn't enough. At 22, I have the Twins. I know I just got onto Wesker about how his lunges weren't enough, but Twins makes up for the single lunge with Victor's fast movement and the information you can get from him as he stays on the survivor. You also get information from him being stationary and playing as Charlotte, which has helped a lot at times. I remember playing Twins for the first time and having a blast, and not really understanding why no one plays them. They're very underrated. At 21, I put Demogorgon. I love his shred, and his portals are useful now and then, but I feel like there are other killers who do what he does a little better, so that's why I put him here. It was a struggle to decide between Demo, Wesker, and Twins, but given that Demo also has portals to use, I put him here. At number 20, we have the Onryo. Her power is a lot like Demo's portals, but she also has her undetectable status and invisibility that make her a unique mixture of Demo, Wraith, and Spirit. Also, her animations are really cool. She's just a really fun killer all around. For number 19, we got the Wraith. He was my very first main, and I absolutely love him. His invisibility and stealth is very fun to use and scare survivors with. His increased mobility is very helpful, and of course, who doesn't love his iconic Bing Bong? Number 18 is the Artist. Her power is incredibly unique, and being able to find survivors from anywhere on the map is amazing. Her noises and bird aesthetic is dope because I'm a sucker for birds, especially crows. She's a really oppressive killer if played right, given how in the late game she can just point and shoot and find what gen you're on, as well as monitor the exit gates from across the map. She has a lot of potential to be incredibly strong, and it's very fun playing her in different ways. For 17, I have the Trickster. Now, I absolutely hate playing against him. I already suck at looping, and adding his knives to the mix just makes it impossible for me. But playing as him, I love his rapid fire throwing, and his voice lines give extra points to him. Also, I'm a big sucker for knives, so mixing rapid fire and knives together just makes it an amazing power for me personally. Number 16 is the Cannibal. Bubba's chainsaw sweep with his grunts, oinks, noises. Let's just go with noises, is absolutely hilarious, and I just love how goofy Bubba is. It makes him very enjoyable. Halfway there with number 15, we have the Plague. Vami Mami is a very unique killer in every sense of the word, and her ability to keep survivors broken is awesome and forces survivors into a very difficult choice of whether to stay one shot or cleanse and make the plague more powerful. Her playstyle is interesting and is very enjoyable. Plus, what better way to deal with toxic survivors than to vomit on them? That's gotta be a high level of disrespect. At 14, we have Deathslinger. He has a gun. I'm American. Enough said. But in all actuality, Deathslinger is what I think all ranged killers should aspire to be. Yes, he doesn't have the range as Trickster or Huntress, but unless you're doing, trick shots, Deathslinger's range is perfect and can come in clutch when it needs to. At 13, we have the most recent killer, the Skull Merchant. I really don't see why everyone is hating on her power. I love it. The ability to find survivors even if they're in lockers is awesome. She gains the undetectable status while in the drones area, which can help on indoor maps, and survivors can be revealed by Killer Instinct as well as exposed. Her power is very awesome, and during my adept challenge and afterwards, I had a lot of fun using it. At 12, we have the Knight. Again, I really don't get the hate behind Knight. I love his power. I get it. Not everyone likes 3 gens and things like that, but it is a very viable strategy and one I always try to push towards because it's easy. Besides, his ability is also useful for looping and even just finding survivors. The only thing it lacks is mobility. At number 11, we have Oni. Injuring survivors makes you incredibly stronger, which is very cool, and of course, he goes zoom and boom, which makes me very happy, because I'm a child at heart. For 10, we have the Nurse. I know people hate the Nurse, but look, in every game like DBD, there's going to be a character who is super broken. It's literally inevitable, and for DBD, Nurse is that character. That being said, I love playing and even versing her. Being able to blink through objects and ignore the game is fun, especially after you struggle in a match or something like that. She's good to just get on and win a match after dealing with the toxicity that is DBD's community. At 9, we have Doctor, who, as a survivor, is actually my favorite killer to play against. Being able to find survivors and prevent them from looping is very fun, oppressive, and the constant screaming is hilarious, which maybe doesn't say good things about my mental state, but hey, it's a game about killing people, so it's obviously not in a good place anyways, right? Coming in at number 8, we have Spirit. I'm sure you all noticed a theme by now. Invisibility, mobility, and spooky noises equals a very fun killer, and this stays true for Spirit. Also, I found learning how to track with her and using her hearing more than normal to find survivors very interesting and made me want to keep playing her. Number 7, following the theme of speedy boys and goyles, is of course Legion. They zoom and slash, and I find that enjoyable. Plus, survivors DCing when they see it's a Legion will never not be funny. At 6 we have Nemesis. His hulking stature and stomping is awesome, and his zombies are cute little helpers that help every now and then. Whipping the survivors awakens something in me, and just outright punching them is hilarious and super satisfying. I love playing Nemi. For 5, it has to be the Dredge. The teleporting and jump scaring from lockers brought a little bit of horror into the game. His ability, Nightfall, shares its name with me, and it's nice to see another monster character in the game. At number 4, we have the Executioner. It's a bit of a weird pick, as he's not fast or stealthy or even that scary, but I just find his gameplay very fun, as his ability to hit through walls quickly, send survivors to cages, and just outright kill them is super helpful, especially against a good Survive with Friends team. For 3, we have my old main, Ghostface. He was my main probably even longer than my current one. His stealth is unparalleled, and being able to expose survivors and one-shot them while still being hidden is so cool. He may not be speeding, but he gets the job done just as effectively as any other killer. At 2, we have my current main, the Blight. This obviously fits with the theme of, speedy boys. He zooms and booms and zooms some more. He awakens the little kid in me, and I have so much fun playing my little pinball boy. He's often considered a character who rivals Nurse in terms of being the best killer, and his gameplay shows why. He is what I wish every killer would be. Finally, number 1. I know what you're thinking. Blight is my main, and I had nothing but good things to say, so who is possibly more fun than him? Well, number 1 isn't about skill or gameplay or anything else like that. She's more of a guilty pleasure killer for me than anything else, and that, of course, is the Hag. I don't know why, but I have so much fun playing Hag. I just get on her and goof around with her power. I absolutely love playing her as her for absolutely no reason. In my opinion, for reasons I can't explain, the most fun killer to play as is the Hag. I hope you all enjoyed the video. This was rough. I'm sorry if I'm very quiet or sounding, miserable. I had to record this at 3 a.m. to get it done for today because I am literally uploading this Wednesday, March 15th, which is the day this will go up. Um, so yeah, it's been a bit rough, but I still hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys leave your list of of how you would rank these, or even just your top 5 killers would do. That'll be nice. But if you want to list all 30, go ahead. List your own rankings in the comments below. I would be happy to read all of them. That being said, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, and I'll hopefully see you all soon. Goodbye.